So today I want to talk about the meal, pot roast. Does everyone know what pot roast is?
This will be an exciting story.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you know what pot roast is?
Alright, so pot roast is like chuck meat that you put inside like a crock pot or something with beef stock and it cooks it and you put vegetables in it too.
Okay, so you start with the cow. Then you cut the cow in half. Take some of the meat, put it in a big bowl,
Warming bowl.
and then it cooks all day. Then you put vegetables in it. Just eat the vegetables.
Yeah, so there's not much exciting about pot roast really, it's kind of boring. But to me growing up, the idea of pot roast was just so fascinating. In my mind, it was like the idea, the quintessential family meal. It was something that your mom threw in the morning, and that's what you all ate together when you were done at the end of the day. And I just like the idea of that. I never actually tried pot roast until I was 16 years old though. My mom liked chicken, she didn't like dark meat, and my dad had no clue how to cook, so we just didn't have it. But then I was reminded of how much I wanted to try pot roast when I was 16 years old on a fall day when I was moving into my grandma's house. I was standing there moving boxes into my grandpa's small office. It was a tiny room, probably like maybe a little bit bigger than that, but it could basically fit my bed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was small. And I was unpacking, and then my grandma came up to me, and she like had her shaky hand, and she like put it on my shoulder, which I don't know why she was shaking, but old age, I guess. She handed me this list, and she was like, "Can you run to the grocery store for me?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I look on the list, and it says chuck meat, beef stock, carrots, and potatoes. And I realized what we're gonna have. We're gonna have pot roast. This was exciting to me. Oh, I should also preface that I came and moved in with my grandparents because I had to leave an unsafe situation at my mother's house. So it was like my first evening there. And it just felt so cool that my grandma wanted to like make a special meal for me, you know? So I go to the store, get all the fixings, go back, and I'm like ready to help her, you know, like get in on the action, even though I had never cooked before. And she was like, "Go up to your room and do homework while I cook dinner." Oh my God, that's such like a family thing, you know? Like going up there while somebody cooks dinner for you, it just seems so like Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch is like a 70s TV show that families watch. They're just like the perfect family, basically. And it just felt so cool. So I went back up into my tiny little room, I sat down, and you might think that it seems small, but the one great thing about my grandpa's office was there's this giant window that you could just see a field because they lived on the outskirts of town. And it was the first snow of fall, I guess, not even winter. And you could just see this giant blizzard going on, and it was awesome and exciting because it was so warm and cozy on the inside. Can anybody else relate, just like loving being like cozy when you're in that area? Yeah, you got it.
I just left Shadron, Nebraska, and there was some significant snow.
Yes, I was in Alliance. So.
Yeah, and not so cozy.
When you're inside, it is.
Oh, okay, fine.
So I'm up there, and then I smell it wafting through the kitchen up to my room. And I get called down. So I get up, and I go down there, and my grandma wants me to mix the biscuit batter together, which was terrifying because I had never cooked in my life. Everyone had always told me that I was too incompetent to cook, which, fair. So I mix it together, and I somehow messed that up. Like there's powder everywhere, it's uneven. But instead of like belittling me, my grandma actually shows me how to like properly fold when you're mixing together the biscuit batter. So I do that, and we do all the cooking, get it in, everything, and she tells me to set the table and sit down. So I go over there, sit down. She calls my grandpa to come down and eat with us. And there's another big window. My grandparents' house is small, but it has so many windows it doesn't feel small. And it's dark outside now, and there's just this cold, torturous winter going on outside in early fall. But my grandparents also have Edison bulbs as opposed to LED lights, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And honestly, Edison lights kind of suck because you can't see very well. But it does make the room have like this nice yellow glow, like this warm feeling, as opposed to the blue outside. So then I'm sitting there with my grandpa at a dining table. I don't think I'd ever had a meal like at a dining table. It felt so opulent. So I go there, and they set down the pot roast, and there's billows of smoke coming from it, and I'm just so excited to try this accumulation of all of our efforts. So I sit down, and I take a bite of this coveted pot roast, put it in my mouth, and it tastes like shit. Seriously, who likes pot roast? It's dead cow floating around in extra cow excrements, and like vegetables floating around in it. Seriously, what is wrong with people? Frankly, I think I went vegan shortly after that, so I don't eat that anymore. But it was never about the pot roast, you know? It was okay that it tasted like shit. It was the fact that I desired something, I wanted something. And from my grandmother's effort and love for me, that thing now existed in this world. And I get to have my first meal with my new family and my new home.